Have you ever walked into a room and without anyone saying a word, felt a tension in the air? Or met someone who seemed to radiate such positive energy that you immediately felt at ease? This isn't a coincidence. Humans emit an electromagnetic field, a subtle, energetic signature that contains information about our emotions, intentions, and even mental states. Now imagine if you could learn to read that field, perceiving subtle cues, interpreting patterns, and accessing a hidden layer of information about anyone without them uttering a single word. This isn't science fiction, it's science. Jacobo Grimberg dedicated his life to studying how the mind shapes reality and how we can pick up on these signals to understand what's going on inside another person. Today, you'll discover how to decipher the human electromagnetic field and access information that has always been around you, though few know how to interpret it. Comment here. My mind is open to new perceptions, and let's explore this mystery together. Most people believe that we can only know what someone thinks or feels when they express it verbally or through obvious gestures. But what if I told you that we are constantly emitting invisible signals that can be detected and interpreted? Our bodies generate electromagnetic fields, especially the brain and the heart. For example, the heart produces such a strong field that it can be detected 3 meters away. This field carries information about our emotions and intentions, affecting not only our own state, but also that of those around us. Similarly, the brain generates electromagnetic waves that vary according to our thoughts and emotional states. The problem is that from a young age, we are trained to ignore this natural perception. Our society values only what is visible and tangible, neglecting intuition and the ability to pick up on these subtleties. But this doesn't mean the ability isn't there. It's just dormant. Have you ever felt discomfort around someone for no apparent reason, only to later discover that the person was going through a difficult time or had harmful intentions? Or conversely, felt instantly good around someone as if there were an inexplicable connection? This happens because our electromagnetic fields are constantly interacting, exchanging information that we often pick up unconsciously. Science has shown that emotions directly influence the heart's electromagnetic field. People who feel fear, anger, or stress have chaotic fields, while emotions like gratitude and love generate a coherent, harmonious field. This means that by learning to read this energy, we can identify emotional states, predict behaviors, and even enhance our communication with others. Jacobo Grimberg studied this interaction in depth and discovered that the reality we perceive is far more malleable than we imagine. He theorized that our consciousness is not confined to the brain, but expands into an interconnected field, allowing the transmission and reception of information beyond our common senses. If we don't learn to interpret these signals, we remain vulnerable to negative energies, misled by false words, and disconnected from the true potential of our minds. The good news? There are practical ways to train this perception and develop an accurate reading of the electromagnetic field of the people around us. Jacobo Grimberg was no ordinary scientist. He delved into the mysteries of the mind and consciousness in a way few dared to. His major breakthrough was uniting neuroscience, quantum physics, and ancient traditions to understand how perception shapes reality. His research indicated that the mind is not limited to the brain, but is interconnected with a larger field of information, a phenomenon he called the neuronal field. Within that field, human interactions go far beyond what our physical senses capture. Grinberg theorized that thoughts and emotions generate energy patterns that can be transmitted and received without the need for words. This idea directly connects with what modern science has already proven about the electromagnetic field generated by the brain and the heart. During his research, Grinberg studied Mexican shamans who appeared to have the ability to read the mental and emotional states of others through subtle perception. He believed this ability wasn't magical, but rather a forgotten human potential. If his discoveries were correct, it means that anyone can develop this perception. And that's exactly what we're about to explore: how to activate this ability and interpret the energetic field of the people around us. What is the human electromagnetic field? Our body isn't just physical matter, it's also a pulsating energetic field. Science has proven that the brain and the heart generate measurable electromagnetic fields capable of influencing both our own state and the surrounding environment. The heart, for instance, emits the strongest electromagnetic field in the human body, up to 5,000 times more potent than the brain's. This field can extend up to 3 meters and carries information about our emotions and intentions. Meanwhile, the brain works like an antenna, generating electrical waves that fluctuate with our thoughts and emotional states. These waves can be detected by electroencephalograms and vary between frequencies such as beta, alpha, theta, and delta, each associated with different levels of consciousness. Perhaps most impressively, these fields aren't isolated. They interact with the fields of those around us, creating a kind of invisible communication. That's why, without a single word being spoken, you can sense when someone is tense, nervous, or calm. Your own electromagnetic field picks up that information and translates it into sensations, a gut feeling or a subtle shift in mood. Jacobo Grimberg studied this phenomenon extensively. He believed that consciousness wasn't solely a product of the brain, but was part of a greater field of information that could be accessed and interpreted. His research suggested that our mind could tune into different energetic frequencies to capture information that goes beyond the 5 senses. Modern studies confirm that this subtle perception isn't merely an abstract intuition, but a reflection of our energetic field's capacity to absorb and interpret electromagnetic data. For example, the HeartMath Institute has demonstrated that when 2 people interact, one person's heart field can influence the other's nervous system, aligning biological rhythms. This explains why some people make us feel good just by being present, while others seem to drain our energy. The big question is, if the human electromagnetic field carries so much information, can we learn to read it consciously? Yes. And next, we'll explore how to capture and interpret these subtle signals to better understand someone's emotions and intentions. How can we capture and interpret a person's electromagnetic field? If the human electromagnetic field carries information about emotions and mental states, the big question becomes, how can we learn to consciously perceive it? Although this ability is natural, we have been conditioned to ignore it. However, there are techniques that can awaken this sensitivity and allow us to interpret invisible signals. One effective method is to expand your observation. When you are near someone, your body is already picking up subtle signals from them, even though your rational mind might dismiss these cues. Before engaging in conversation, close your eyes for a few seconds and pay attention to how you feel in their presence. Is there a sensation of lightness or tension? Does your body feel relaxed or alert? Then, look at the person without focusing on specific facial expressions. Instead, try to sense the atmosphere around them. Some individuals seem to radiate energy, while others appear to absorb it. Another indicator is the sensation of expansion or contraction. Our energetic field responds instantly to the fields of others. Some interactions make you feel expansive, as if your energy is increasing and you feel more at ease, while others create a sense of contraction, as if something is draining your energy. This response is a clear indication of the other person's emotional and energetic state. There is also the phenomenon of synchronization or energetic reading. When 2 people spend time together, their energetic fields begin to align. Scientific studies have shown that heart and brain rhythms can synchronize. During a conversation, pay attention to your breathing and the other person's. Are they in sync? If so, it indicates an energetic alignment. If you feel inexplicably uncomfortable around someone, try altering your breathing to become deeper and more rhythmic. Often, this adjustment can recalibrate your own field and change the dynamics of the interaction. A more advanced technique involves using your hands, which are highly sensitive to subtle fields. Rub your palms together until you feel warmth, then slowly bring them close together as if you're holding an invisible ball. Do you feel a slight resistance or a field between them? That is your own energetic field. Try the same experiment near another person. Some individuals radiate more warmth and vibration than others, which might indicate a stronger field or intense emotions. The more you practice, the more natural this perception becomes. Now that we understand how to capture and interpret the energetic field, the next step is to examine how emotions directly affect this energy and what that means in practice. Emotions aren't just abstract internal states, they have measurable frequencies and directly influence the human electromagnetic field. When we feel fear, stress, or anger, our field becomes chaotic and irregular. In contrast, emotions like love, gratitude, and joy create a harmonious and coherent field. This means we can literally sense a person's energy even before they speak. Negative emotions, those of low vibration, can create an unstable magnetic field that is palpable to those nearby. Have you ever entered a room after a heated argument and felt the air was heavy? That's because the electromagnetic remnants of those negative emotions still linger. On a personal level, when someone is sad or depressed, their energetic field contracts, becoming less expansive. Often we instinctively feel this as fatigue or discomfort when we're around that person. On the other hand, high vibration emotions such as joy, gratitude, and love generate a strong, coherent field. This explains why some people seem to light up a room. Studies show that individuals who practice meditation or maintain an emotionally balanced state emit a broader and more harmonious energetic field, positively influencing those around them. This effect is evident when we are near charismatic or inspiring people. We feel energized, motivated, and in tune with their presence. Our own energetic field resonates with their elevated frequency. How can you use this information to your advantage? By learning to read and interpret the energetic field of others, you can become more attuned to subtle cues. Notice whether you feel light or heavy when near someone, how your emotions shift after a conversation, or whether their energy seems to pull you down or elevate your mood. Our electromagnetic field directly affects how we connect with others, and in some cases, these connections can be astonishing, like those observed between identical twins. Many accounts suggest that twins share a bond beyond the ordinary, feeling each other's emotions, pain, and thoughts even when miles apart. Scientific studies have shown that identical twins share similar brain patterns, even when separated. This might be because each individual's brain and heart emit unique electromagnetic fields, and in twins, these fields can be remarkably similar. There have been experiments where one twin experiences an emotional stimulus, such as a sudden scare or burst of joy, and the other, even without knowing what happened, exhibits similar physiological reactions like changes in heart rate or brain activity. This suggests that an invisible energetic communication exists between them, a phenomenon Grinberg explored through his theory of the neuronal field. Grinberg believed that the human mind is not isolated within the brain, but is connected to a universal field of information, where thoughts and emotions can be shared instantly. In the case of twins, this connection might be even stronger due to their genetic and energetic similarity. If our thoughts and emotions are vibrational patterns within this field, it makes sense that twins, sharing a common biological origin and a similar energetic field, could pick up on these cues more easily. This could explain why many twins report feeling when the other is in danger, even when they are kilometers apart. If science suggests that twins can share information through their energetic fields, it means that all of us are constantly influencing and being influenced by the energy of those around us. Learning to perceive and interpret the electromagnetic field isn't merely a mystical or spiritual skill, but a powerful tool for understanding our world. Have you ever heard stories of mothers who, without any logical explanation, feel a tightening in their chest or a sudden fear and later discover that their child has been in an accident at that very moment? Or people who suddenly feel unwell and then receive news that a loved one is in distress? These phenomena aren't mere coincidences. They can be explained by the electromagnetic field and the energetic interconnection between people with strong bonds. There are many impressive accounts throughout history of individuals who sensed tragedies before they happened. For instance, during World War II, many mothers reported feeling an intense pain or sudden certainty that their children had died on the battlefield, even before receiving any official news, only for it to be confirmed later that the child had indeed perished at that very moment. Another famous case is linked to the Titanic. Before the 1912 disaster, several people had a strong premonition that something terrible would happen, prompting them to cancel their voyages. One of the most famous examples is Morgan Robertson, a writer who, 14 years prior to the tragedy, wrote a book titled Futility, describing an ocean liner almost identical to the Titanic sinking under similar circumstances. Coincidence? Or perhaps a perception of an already present energetic reality within the neuronal field? Everyday examples abound. A strong feeling to avoid a certain route only to later learn of an accident at that location, or an inexplicable urge to call someone who then turns out to need help at that exact moment. Scientific studies in neuroscience and quantum physics indicate that our brains can pick up subtle information even before we become consciously aware of it. The human heart, with its powerful electromagnetic field, can act as a sensor, detecting energetic vibrations that signal danger or distress in someone dear. Jacobo Grimberg theorized that all minds are interconnected through the neuronal field, and that this interconnection could explain these intuitive phenomena. When someone close to us undergoes a significant emotional or physical impact, that information can be transmitted to us instantly, even if we are miles apart. If this interconnected field truly exists, it means our intuition can be trained to capture this information more consciously. If our energetic field can be influenced by the emotions and energies of those around us, how can we strengthen it to ward off negative interference while also enhancing our perception? The answer lies in simple practices that increase the coherence of the heart and brain's electromagnetic fields, making them more stable and resilient. Studies from the Heart Math Institute show that emotions such as gratitude, love, and compassion increase the coherence of our electromagnetic field, making it stronger and more balanced. To strengthen your energy, try practicing daily gratitude. Think of 3 things you're grateful for when you wake up and before you go to bed. This practice not only bolsters your energetic field, but also enhances your intuitive perception. Additionally, avoid dwelling on negative thoughts. Whenever you catch yourself stuck in a negative emotion, take a deep breath and shift your focus to something positive. Breathing techniques also have a direct impact on our electromagnetic field. When we're anxious or stressed, our energy becomes unstable and more vulnerable to external influences. An effective method for balancing your energy is cardiac coherence. For instance, inhale slowly through your nose for 5 seconds, hold the breath for 5 seconds, and then exhale slowly through your mouth for another 5 seconds. Repeat this cycle for a few minutes while feeling your energy stabilize. Another useful practice is visualization for energetic protection. If you find that you easily absorb the emotions of others, try creating an energetic shield around yourself. Close your eyes and imagine a golden light enveloping your body, forming a protective barrier. Visualize this light growing and strengthening your presence. Use this technique before entering emotionally charged environments or interacting with negative people. Connecting with nature can also help balance your electromagnetic field. Walking barefoot on the ground, meditating outdoors, or simply spending a few minutes under the sun can clear accumulated electromagnetic charges and restore your energy. By strengthening your electromagnetic field, you become more resilient to external influences and improve your ability to pick up on subtle cues around you. Now that you know how to protect and enhance your energetic perception, imagine how this can transform the way you experience the world. Consider real-life stories of individuals who accessed this subtle perception to avoid danger or make wise decisions based solely on their energetic connection. For example, there's the story of a mother in the United States who, while reading at home one evening, felt a strong tightening in her chest and inexplicable anxiety. Her teenage son had gone out to a party, and she felt an overwhelming urge to call him. When she did, he sounded nervous. He and his friends were about to get into a car with someone who had been drinking. Thanks to that call, he decided to take a taxi home. And just a few hours later, the car he was about to ride in was involved in a serious accident. How did she know? Perhaps her son's energetic field sent a signal that her heart picked up even before the tragedy occurred. There's also the account of a successful businessman who always trusted his energy when closing deals. On one occasion, while shaking hands with a new investor, he felt a wave of discomfort and tension in his stomach, as if something were amiss. He decided to investigate further and discovered that the investor's company was involved in fraud, an intuition that ultimately saved him millions. These stories illustrate that our energetic field is a true radar, capturing information that our logical mind might overlook. The challenge for you is to trust this invisible intelligence and put it into practice in your own life. From now on, whenever you are near someone, try a simple experiment. Pay attention to the sensations in your body. Ask yourself, does my energy feel light or heavy around this person? Do I feel an expansion or a contraction? Does my body react even before a conversation begins? Also, practice your breathing technique to strengthen your own field and observe how it changes your interactions throughout the day. And if you're up for a challenge, try visualizing that golden light and notice how it affects your overall disposition. Have you ever had a strong intuitive experience, sensing something before it happened? Share your story. By doing so, you might help others awaken this perceptual ability. And if this content resonated with you, like the video, and share it with someone who needs to learn about this. Together, we can train our minds to access layers of information that have always been within reach. The energy is everywhere. You just need to learn how to feel it. Are you ready to take on the challenge?